Or do you think we're going to get one of them in the next week? And hello and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlug. And today we are going to be talking about two free agent pitchers that apparently the Blue Jays have their eyes on. Those guys are Taiwan Walker and James Paxton. And we are going to be talking about whether or not we should get them and if we will.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, guys. Before we get into that, though, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, Patreon, do the whole shebang, and become a member of the freaking community. All right, I'm going to read off a tweet by Ben Nicholson Smith that kind of launched us and reinvigorated the thought and it was a catalyst, basically, behind these rumors emerging once again.
Right.
He said, and he tweeted out, "It's been a busy couple weeks for the hashtag Blue Jays, but they could still use a starter." No kidding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And they're still involved in that market with interest in both Paxton and in Walker. And then he linked an article on Sportsnet that kind of broke down further both of these guys and our interest in them. So this is super nice to see, first off.
Absolutely.
That we are still having interest in this because we know that we need pitching.
Yeah. I would be really upset if we just got all these guys, got all these great batters, and then settled for Matz and Liriano in a minor league deal. No, thank you. We need pitching, guys. If we actually want to make a postseason deep run, especially now that the expanded playoffs are done, we need pitching to compete with Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. Don't forget about them.
Completely agree. And even the Boston Red Sox are, their lineup is still elite. Yeah. And they're going to smack around Tanner Roark. They're going to smack around Robbie Ray. So I think the best way to go through this video is to pick one, break him down first, and then pick the other one. Who do you want?
Let's start with our boy, Taiwan Walker.
Tell me about him.
We got him last year, obviously in that trade for those who have been sleeping under a rock. He's had 8 seasons. He's only 28 years old. And his career ERA is 3.84, a whip of 1.25. A not flashy strikeout per 9, but he still gets the job done with his strikeout per 9 being 8.2.
Yeah, and that's all that really matters. You get the job done.
You get the job done, right? And in 2020, he had an amazing year with an ERA of 2.7 with a whip of 1.16. He was incredible coming to Toronto. Really sad he didn't play in the wild card.
Yeah, well, he might have played in Game 3, or I think that
he was our case.
Yeah, he was our case.
Maybe we should pitch our best pitchers when it actually matters.
Probably, maybe we want to get to a Game 3 before we do that. Yeah. But anyways, man, he was truthfully amazing when he got to Toronto. Back on his other team, he was pitching for a 4+ ERA. But the second that he got to Toronto, this guy pitched for a 1.37 ERA.
Really good.
Something was clicking. Something was working. I know it was a short sample size.
Walker.
But yeah, exactly. like some sort of thing was just falling into place for Taiwan Walker.
Yes, absolutely.
Pete Walker.
Pete Walker is the coach.
That's all.
But yes, Walker, I want him back. I thought for sure, we made a video on what are the most likely players that we were going to sign this offseason. And Walker was number one.
Straight up the first guy on the list was Taiwan. It just seemed like the thing that made the most sense.
Yeah.
You've had this guy, you trust this guy, there is a rapport. He's tweeting out pictures about Toronto and Canada and wanting to live here.
Yeah.
One would think that we would get him back, especially considering that this is our biggest need, and it always has been our biggest need this offseason. Somebody else who may also want to come play in Toronto, and better way to put it, Canada, is the Canadian boy, also known as Big Maple. James Paxton is the guy. Shouting out his no-hitter there.
Yes.
The one that we always see in the MLB highlights.
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful? Canadian boy throwing a no-hitter in the one Canadian ballpark. Don't you want to come and reunite? Maybe that magic.
More no-hitters in the Canadian ballpark?
We'll see. Maybe he can bounce back. from all those injuries.
Well, and he would, in my opinion, need to bounce back because last year it was a rough year. Keeping in mind, guys, that he only pitched for 20.1 innings. That is nothing. Like I think he started
barely.
5 games, but his ERA was bad. It was in the same conversations of the Rourkes, of the Chase Andersons, of the Steven Matz. It was 6.64. Not ideal. And the biggest thing for him was that I think he was hurt.
He was definitely hurt. I mean, you look back at his career numbers. This is what we're signing him for, not for last year. And the last year, I literally wrote, throw it in the trash because that's all you can do at this point in your career. His career numbers were 3.58. WHIP was 1.21 and a flasher 9.9 strikeout per 9. Like, that's what we want. So, you know, obviously he was hurt as hell last year because everything was off. Nothing was matching up.
Everything was off. And if we do sign him, then I want the trainers to look into this and say to them and actually know, are we going to get the James Paxton of old? Are we going to get the James Paxton of last year? Because the James Paxton of last year was a very, very different pitcher than he has been in his entire career. I'm going to read out the fastball velocity, like his percentage rates leading up to 2020, and you'll notice a trend. 2015, 76th percentile. 2016, 87th percentile. 2017, 76th percentile. 2018, 73rd percentile. 2019, 60th percentile. And then last year, he was in the 21st percentile. That's pretty bad.
I mean, that's clear as day. Like, there was something wrong with him. Multiple injuries, back surgeries, hip was hurt, his arm was hurt. He's just hurt all over. So I really hope he's been rehabbing.
And the back thing is a reoccurring thing too. It's like he was dealing with his back in 2018 as well, and then that's what he had to have surgery on coming into last season. And it was clear that he was not ready. And then he finished the year on the IR again for something to do with his elbow, which isn't ideal. Like when you see somebody, their fastball velocity in 2019 sit at 95.4, which is pretty bloody fast. That's pretty good, you know? And then drop down to 92.1 the following year, something's not wrong. Right. Something is not right.
So that being said, we have Walker, we have Paxton, right? Let's get him on the Jays, shall we? Like, shall we just bring him on the Jays already?
I was gonna stop you and say, we don't have them yet, but we should. We should have them because the most important thing about these guys, and I understand James Paxton's last year was bad, and if he does that again, then it'll be a wasted signing.
So yeah, we just signed him to a prove it deal.
He would be more of a prove it deal for me. The more important thing about these guys is their upside, is their ceiling. Exactly. And the fact that they have a far higher ceiling than the Tanner Rourkes, than the Rays, than the Striplings, than the Steven Matz. We talked about it and we said that those guys' ceilings is like serviceability.
Yeah, it's like max, like, 4 ERA with like, being the third, maybe the third pitcher on the team, fourth, on average. Like that's it. That's all you're going to get. Whereas James Paxton and Taiwan Walker, their ceilings are easily, they don't even need to do anything. They already would be our number 2 as soon as we sign them. Because Nate Pearson, again, he was hurt. He's got to prove it still. He's got elite potential. But if you're looking at someone you can count on, easily, you can count on Paxton, and we're talking about how he's had a horrible 2020 year, but you can count on him more than anyone else in our rotation.
And that's the thing, bro. It's like I think that his ceiling is, getting back to his career numbers. Pitching for about a 3.58 ERA with a lot of strikeouts and getting a lot of innings. And Taiwan Walker, and this is why I am going to say that if I had to pick one, it would be Walker. And that's because A, he's younger. B, he's already went through Tommy John, and we've seen that it hasn't really affected him. I was looking back at the velocities there as well, and they haven't really changed at all for him. He actually decided to become a different pitcher in 2017 and totally change his mechanics of like what he does, and that helped him. And ever since then, he's been that same sort of pitcher. But Taiwan Walker pitched for 2.7 ERA last year. You said it. That's his ceiling.
That's amazing.
That's what he could do at his height.
That's incredible. And like I can only imagine, like for Paxton, I would sign him to a 1 to 2 year prove it deal, being like around 12 million a year roughly. Whereas Walker, I'm down to lock him definitely at least 2 years. 1 year would suck. I would not like that at all. 2 years to 4 years, like 15 million a year. I'd pay 60 million for 4 years for this guy. He would become part of this great rotation that we're building. It'd be Ryu, it would be him, it would be Pearson, it would be Woods Richardson. Yeah. And then at that point, I don't care. Roar can be there for all I care.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Because I'm pretty high on Taiwan Walker, considering that in 2017, he pitched for a 3.49 ERA. And that was when he started changing his mechanics, and becoming a different pitcher.
Right.
That would have been when he's like 25. He's 28 now. He came back from Tommy John. He still looked really good. He still got tons of time left. If we sign James Paxton, and I still want him, then we need to be hoping for the James Paxton of old. The James Paxton that regularly throws a 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yes.
Because 92 for him is not going to cut it. However, I would still rather have both.
Much rather have him. Let's say, let's talk in that sense where let's say we get James Paxton.
Sure.
Right? And he is what, he's hitting his floor, which is like 4.5 ERA, dropped in velocity, but he's still a guy. We at least add pitching depth, because I kept thinking about the scenario of, like, what if Ryu goes down with a season-ending injury, or 4 months just totally out?
We might as well just set the Rogers Center on fire.
We might as well just end it right there. Like,
just go home, guys.
Just season's done.
Pack your bags and go home. Because we're toast.
Even though we have a mashers all up and down our lineup, it doesn't matter if we have to score 10 runs a game with Roark on the mound and Ray like freaking missing his spots all the time.
Dude, we're burnt toast at that point. We're like the toast that you put in the toaster and then you totally forgot about.
Oh, and it gets all like cold.
It's just like it's just this hard rock of like blackness that
you don't even want it.
No, you toss it in the fucking garbage trash can at that point. It's so bad.
Or if you're so hungry and desperate, you just look past it. You freaking butter it up. We'd be buttering this toasty yuckiness that I don't. We can't have Ryu go down with an injury. It just can't simply happen. However, if it did happen and we had James Paxton and Taiwan Walker, at least if they have the chance to hit their ceiling, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It'd just be a struggle. Right, we need more.
It would be so nice.
We'd be asking for Leorano and Mats to come
impossible, bro. But the good thing is that right now things are happening.
Yes.
Moves are being made. Phone calls are being phoned.
Mm-hmm.
We are having our management. Letters are being sent.
Yes.
There is smoke signals that are going off.
Flares
are happening. Morse codes doors are being knocked
down with
bells
battery
are being
rams.
rung. I said letters already, but things are potentially happening.
Things are happening.
And that's good.
Yes.
And
here's something fun. Do you think we're gonna get one of them in the next week?
In the next week? I don't know, man.
Just lie to me. Just tell me it's gonna happen.
I think that we're gonna get both of them.
What? No way! Yes! Then we're going to the World Series, baby. You with Paxton and Walker and Ryu, and then who's that kid? Nate Pearson. World Series,
buddy.
baby.
Nate Pearson, 2.5 ERA. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Guys, let us know what you think in the comments down below about these guys. Who do you want more? What's the likelihood in your mind of us signing them, and projected deals in the comments down below.
Yes, you can also listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, and Breaker. You can also check out our Instagram and Twitter, where if you want to get an expanded version of Blue Jays Today, you can check us out on that. And also become a Patreon today, guys. You can call in to the show. We're going to have a couple Patreons coming on soon, but literally call into the show on our phones.
Call on my phone. It works.
Look at it.
A working cell phone.
Your voice.
I have no missed calls.
None.
Why?
That's how, reliable we
can call me right here.
Right. You could call us. It's amazing. Great stuff.
Call me up.
Call him.
Ready to talk.
Call him. Look at us. We literally sit here all day for 24 hours a day. Like, okay, podcast time. And you could call us. We'll be right here.
To call me now.
What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Call me now.
Call him. Well, yeah. All right. That was a good bit.
Thanks for watching, guys.
And come on, let's get some pitching. Go, Jays, go!